Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so glad that we always, when we have people come to our city council meetings, because we consider this to be some of the, really important functions of our city. And again, having the chance to be able to share with everyone is really an important thing for all of us here at City Council. We have an exciting agenda tonight. We have an exciting week, an exciting weekend coming, and we're glad you are here. Right now, we have some proclamations that we are going to, and we're very proud to be able to announce. So I'm going to ask the council to join me in the front here, and I have the proclamation. Okay, one of the things that I find for me that is a tremendous pride is that many of the people that are now adults and have children and, like me, are grandparents, are many of the people that I see here and that are going to be awarded for people that I had as students many years ago in the early 70s. And some of them were neighbors of mine, and I am just so proud to be able to provide this award that we have for the contribution of the following folks. Okay. I don't know if everyone is here looking for the specific folks, but the proclamation reads, whereas the City of Long Beach wishes to recognize those persons and organizations to whom have contributed to the community and to the greater world and who are invaluable as citizens of Long Beach. And whereas the City of Long Beach does desire to publicly acknowledge, and I'll mention the name soon, in recognition of their completion of the Gente Ponte a las Pilas leadership, civic empowerment with a dear, dear friend, Ms. Helena Lessing, who's here with us, and I see they're all arriving. Whereas the city, whereas the Long Beach Latino Civic Association, since its founding in 1995, empowered Latinos, the entire Latino population, to become an integral part of the community of Long Beach, while embracing both the American experience and distinct Latino cultures within the city of Long Beach. We're very proud to have these folks here. Now, therefore, the City of Long Beach, the City Council, our City Manager, in recognition of this exemplary service, we proudly present the following proclamation. Imelda Guardado, if you're here, Imelda, please come forward. I'm going to ask you to, Martha Otero. Martha, if you're here, please come forward. Nicole Guardado, are you here? Okay. Kathia Thompson. I see that not everyone is here. Teresa Ormeno. Gladys Rios. Amy. Okay. Sivne. Amy, she's here. Sivne. Okay. Valentina Delgado. Okay. Okay. Jesly Marte. Carlos Escalon. Edgar Maradiago. I'll read that one again. Edgar Maradiago. He's here. Okay. Griselda Guillermo. Jasmine Kleinberg. Jonathan Arban. Rosa Holland. Liliana Pompo. Shelly Cepeda. We need these folks to come up for, please, come up for this proclamation. Okay. Leonardo Carvajal. Leonardo Carvajal. Julie Rivera. Mercedes Parades. Of course, Nelly Romero. Nelly's here. Okay. And of course, my dear friend, Victor Gonzalez. Okay. Victor. This man I've known for 40 years. He was my student many years ago. Good to see you. And of course, Martha, you were called up, so come on up. Yes, Martha. Jonathan, yes. Okay. Martha, it's good to see you. You were among the first who were called up. You're Martha Otero right there. Folks, these are folks that made Long Beach what it is today. These are people that have been in Long Beach for a long time, and some people have just gotten here too. But we all stand together in making this an magnificent city, a city of tremendous diversity. And I have to tell you, I'm so proud to be a part of the city council, and a part of the city, with the kind of contribution that goes on. Folks, let's hear it for everybody here.
Let's move down a little bit. I need everybody not too far. So let's actually, we're going to have the city council in the back, right up here. We're going to need to actually get kind of close together. We're going to have to squeeze. We're all going to have to squeeze. Do you think we're going to go to yeah, I think we could probably grab a couple of people. You know what? If 3 people on the end over there can actually go up, that's yep, that's great. Everyone can just move down to my right, take a giant step to my right. Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. There we go. We're just take a step. Yep, there we go. Yeah, you got it. Take a. There we go. Perfect. All right. All right. I think we can get everybody in now. All right.
One step back.
Yeah, no, I
No, one more step back.
They're waiting for you to turn around that way.
I had everybody in there. Yeah, I was good. I'm just waiting for everybody to get set up. All right. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to come over and 1 up and down. All right. 1, 2, 3. And 1 more. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Watch the public.
Thank you so much.
Twinkling Lake Forest. Right. That's two colors. Thank you. Ya sé que hicieron la foto. Vamos a sentarnos.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Like I was mentioning before, we have a jam-packed agenda tonight, and we look forward to this entire week ahead of us and weekend. Very exciting things going on. Today, for example, the City Council were all able to go to the middle school today with 1,000 middle school kids and do a giant picture with our bodies of a tremendous surfboard that can only be seen from about 100, 200 feet in the air with a drone taking pictures of it. But it was an exciting day to see young people together with us, just participating in stuff that just is great and to make this city a great city, a city where we all participate, where we all feel a part of. Just have to remind folks of a couple of things. As you know, we have good and welfare at the end of the meeting. We ask that you sign up for good and welfare before the end of the city council meeting as part of the tradition in the Long Beach City Hall. And the other thing that's important to remember is that we have a 3-minute limit on comments. Now, mind you, during the city council meeting and also at the end of the meeting during good and welfare, it's your time. And we need to hear from people. We need to hear about what's on your mind, what's your concern, what you think is working, what you think is not working. We need to hear that and incorporate that into what we do here at City Hall. And so we're very proud to be able to open up those doors to everyone here in Long Beach. But again, the 3-minute limit is so that everyone can get a chance to participate. The other thing that we expect from folks is to be able to conduct themselves with the kind of decorum that you would love and respect in places like schools, places of business. And that means that if you hear something that you don't like, that we be respectful of that individual, that we have no crosstalk, no bullying of any kind, because that's not how government works. And we in Long Beach have made a tradition of being able to respect that here. And I'm glad to see the police commissioner and everyone here that really believes that Long Beach is truly a very special place. And then finally, if we're not able to answer your question, it's not that we don't want to answer your question, it could be that there could be a legal reason for not being able to answer, or that we just don't have the answer for you. Well, that's what we ask you to fill the form out so that we can get back to you with what you need to know. And again, with that, folks, welcome again to our City Council meeting, and I'll give turn our meeting over to Mr. Frazier.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting, of the Council of the City of Long Beach on Tuesday, June 6, 2017 at 7 p.m. Have a roll call. Councilmember Diamond. Councilmember Mandel.
Here.
Councilmember Moore.
Here.
Vice President Aramo.
Here.
President Torres.
Here.
Let the record indicate the presence of City Manager Jack Sherman and Assistant Corporation Counsel Greg Kalnitzky. We'll now salute to the flag.
Mr. Ramos, lead us tonight. You pledge allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Okay, so glad to see everyone here. And with that, I'm going to ask our city manager to give us an update.
Okay, we'd like to thank everyone who came out for last week's Memorial Day Parade and this weekend's Arts and Crafts Fair on the Boardwalk. All are invited to join the City of Long Beach and Councilwoman Anissa Moore at the Long Beach Public Library on Wednesday, June 28th from 10 to 1 for a forum on the city's MWBE contracting opportunities, the opportunity to learn about how to become an MWBE certified company and to network with local and state officials and vendors. As a reminder, the Farmers Market is back and will be open in Kennedy Plaza Wednesdays starting tomorrow and Saturdays through November from 9 to 2. Don't forget to bring your own badge. And we'd like to remind everyone that 2007 beach passes are on sale. All of our beaches will be open this summer. We're looking forward to a wonderful season. Beach passes can be purchased 7 days a week at the gazebo building located across from Long Beach Ice Arena. Hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, weekends 9 to 4 until June 25th. For more information, please visit longbeachny.gov/summer. And coming up this weekend, the LGBT Network is producing Long Island Pride, Pride on the Beach, in partnership with the City of Long Beach with support from the statewide Market New York grant, the I Love New York grant, Bethpage Federal Credit Union, TD Bank, Arizona Ice-T, Northwell Health, South Nassau Community Hospital, Nissan, and others. Detailed FAQ is posted on the city's website and mailed to every household in the city. As a reminder, the cost of the event will be covered by the LGBT Network and their sponsors. This evening, we have some of the planning team here from this weekend's event, and I'd ask them to just very briefly give us an overview. We have David Kilnick from the LGBT Network, Jim Sherry Okay, just join us for a quick moment. Welcome.
Good evening, nice to see you all again, and just want to let the folks know that they're going to see a really nice weekend coming up, but the planning for that weekend has actually taken place over many months. A lot of hard work has gone into that because there's good recognition from the city's leadership that this is a great event, but it's also an event of first impression. First time we're kind of doing this, so let's be thoughtful about it. Let's ensure that there's a good collaborative and evolving process among city agencies and among the other entities that will be supporting the event. And it's really been a great opportunity for the city of Long Beach to lead in that regard. So again, there has been good coordination, first bi-weekly and then weekly meetings among city agencies and the LGBT network to understand how their event is going to unfold in multiple events, but spread across the city over a few days to really drive economic development. But of course, the goal is to have a safe and secure and prosperous event, and that all of the planning processes and all of the implications have been anchored in that. We work very closely with the police commissioner, with the railroad, with Nassau County resources, with EMS resources, to make sure that everything is in place for the city, the residents, and its visitors to enjoy the day and have things available there. So again, the city manager mentioned that the FAQ has been mailed. The questions and answers are there. There's also a lot of information on the sponsor website, which is prideonthebeach.com.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you very much. We have Dave. It's good to see you again, too. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for having us here, and thank you for having us this weekend. We are very excited to be here, and as Jim Sherry said, this has been a year in the making. Planning has gone on a very long time. And so I'd first of all like to thank all of you sitting up here on the dais for your leadership in helping to bring the LGBT network and Long Island Pride to Long Beach this weekend, June 9th to the 11th. Also, I'd like to thank Commissioner Cagney and all the other hard-working employees of the city of Long Beach who have done a phenomenal job, and that's much of the reason why this weekend is going to be great and successful, besides the nice warm weather that we're bringing in with it this weekend. But, you know, another reason why this weekend is going to be tremendously successful is because of the residents and businesses of Long Beach. Organically, the event has developed organically from feedback and input and engagement and involvement from hundreds of residents and businesses across the entire city. And just as an example, there's a foundation block where the carnival is going to take place Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we're putting up one of the band shells. And organically, this happened toward the end of the week. We had a few residents that said, I would like to perform on that stage. And within a couple of hours, residents took over the stage, in planning the stage. And we have 14 hours of entertainment on Friday, Friday from 6 to 10, and Saturday from 1 to 10. All local Long Beach musicians, some who are out LGBT, some who are not, but it's everyone coming together unified. And that really speaks to the flavor of the event, how it has developed really as a true community event. So thank you so much. We look forward to this weekend. Thank you to Jack and the entire City Council, to the Commissioner Cagney and everyone else. And we have our Pride Guides, which just came out, and I have them here for you. You can also find them in about 25 different establishments here at Long Beach too, for precedent. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Commissioner Cagney, good to see you too.
Good evening, Council. Good evening, Manager, and the team. From the safety perspective, we started a long time ago with our partnering agencies, Nassau County, New York City, the MTAs, New York State Police. We had our last final meeting on Friday morning over at the Nassau OEM to nail down all of the loose details. We are ready to go for this event. There will be minimal traffic impact. We're estimating very minimal traffic impact, except during Sunday afternoon during the parade, which obviously a parade that closes the road does impact traffic. But it is going to be very orderly. We have a good plan for the end of the parade, making sure we get everything out of the area. I believe we have adequate security, both inside the event that's provided by Pride, as well as police resources. Nassau County will be assisting us, the state police will be assisting us, and I really don't want to talk about any more about our procedures because we don't alert the other side of what our plans are. Any questions?
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner. Okay. And again, welcome to both of you for being here with us. And we had such an exciting time raising the flag here at City Hall. And again, we thank you. We, again, like we've been saying for many, many years, Long Beach believes in opportunity, in fairness. And we believe that this is really what Long Beach believes in. And for that reason, we feel very strongly that this is where we'd like to go with our city. And we're very proud to have this Pride Weekend. Thank you. Thank you again. With that, we're going to begin our meeting. Mr. Frazier.
First item this evening is an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach regarding Ocean Beach Park.
Hey, unfortunately, people have been climbing and walking on the new larger jetties, putting themselves in harm's way, risking slipping and falling onto the rocks and or into the ocean, as well as placing our first responders and lifeguards at risk. This new section of the code is designed to regulate the use of these jetties for the protection of people enjoying our beaches and working on our beaches. Pursuant to the city charter, the city council has the authority to adopt an emergency ordinance on the date it is introduced. The city is also providing signage prohibiting all climbing and walking on the jetties. And obviously this is at the urging of our police department, our lifeguards, and all of our first responders.
That's very interesting, Mr. Chairman, because one of the things that, and of course I've been getting a lot of phone calls regarding this, is that the jetties have a flat surface. This is not what we've had in the past, and one of the interesting things about it is that, I think that this precipitated the kind of legislation that you see here today, because it is dangerous. It is dangerous for people to walk up onto these jetties. Anything can happen. You fall into that water, and of course, the currents out there are very strong, and the chances of surviving are very, very slim. So this is why we're taking very seriously anyone who walks onto the jetties. You will be fined. Are there any comments from the council on this legislation?
Yeah, if I could just add, I want to thank the administration as well as the Corporation Council for taking the swift action. I know that I recently met with a number of the first responders, including the lifeguards, and they specifically stated that they were concerned, given that while it looks like a complete flat surface, there are grooves and holes in between the different rocks, and there was a real concern that someone during the day or in the evening would really be injured. So I think it's great that we took this swift action and quickly put this in place so that there's some enforcement. So thank you.
Absolutely, Ms. Diamond. Thank you. Thank you for that comment. Any other comments from the council?
I just have a question about the signage that we're going to look for. I don't know if the commissioner will speak about the signage.
If you can explain what
I'm
that
just
signage
curious
is.
about the signage. We don't want anything so visual pollution, I guess would be a good term.
Well, there are two issues regarding signage. The first thing is, under the law, you have to give notice.
Right.
And there's two ways to give notice. The simplest way to give notice is to put up a sign. Unfortunately, the Corps of Engineers is in control of our beach at this time. Right now, we tell people to get off the jetties with no authority. So this would give us the authority. And then the officers would go down and we would give a warning. That's sufficient notice for a subsequent time to give a ticket. So you identify the person, you tell them to get off, you tell them why they have to get off, what the fines are. Hopefully, word of mouth spreads until we get control of back on the beach and we can put up the proper signage. I'm looking for something that would be epoxy to the jetties themselves, so we wouldn't have the issue of poles sticking up on the beach, possibly becoming loose in storms and such. So we're going very slowly with that, but this ordinance does give us the ability to give oral notice, which then we can take action on. We're not looking to be heavy-handed, we're just looking to keep people safe.
on this first item. Very important legislation that the city is adopting for safety of our residents and our visitors here on our beaches. Okay, with that, we're going to move on.
Item 2 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement for a sponsorship program for sunscreen dispensers in the Ocean Beach Park and to amend the budget.
Okay, following the example of other cities like New York City, Boston, Miami Beach, we're going to be helping protect residents and visitors against the dangers of sun overexposure and skin cancer by providing free sunscreen at the Ocean Beach Park at 3 dispensers located on the boardwalk. This 3-year program is fully paid for through sponsorship funds provided by NYU Winthrop Hospital. The city will also be receiving $5,000 annually from the sponsor.
Great, great news. It's funny because we take very seriously also the health of our residents and our visitors. This is one step that we feel is really important, that we protect ourselves against the ultraviolet rays of the sun. And the nice thing is that it's for free. You'll be able to go down the ramps and squirt some of this sunscreen for your protection. And we think that's great. City manager, I think that's a lot of foresight in that. Any comments? Yes.
I just had a question about the SPF level and who refills and maintains the
The SPF level is 30, I believe, and the units are maintained by the sponsor.
Yeah, but it's going to be third party to, the sponsor's located in Miami. They're going to find a responsible third party locally and have to maintain the dispensers.
Thank you. Sir Ram, did you have any comments?
No,
Okay,
I
great.
just have one quick question. After the 3-year period, once the period of time that the sponsorship is for, what happens to the dispensers? Is it something the city can continue to maintain if they want to on their own?
Well, it would obviously cost something for the city to maintain it at that point because the sponsorship is for 3 years, or perhaps we can find a new sponsor.
Thank you.
Very good question. Thank you. Is that it? Now we go to the public. We'd like to hear from everyone. Yes. Ms. Blanchett, good to see you. Welcome to our City Council meeting.
Hi, thank you very much. This is a great program. I've seen these dispensers up in Boston, and they work well. But I do have a few questions to address about this program. After due advertising, there was one proposal that was submitted. Only one person from the company responded to this, and I'm wondering, when you set up things and you're looking for responses from potential vendors, if only one person is responding, don't you think you should consider keeping the period open to get more responders? Because now you just have one person and you're kind of just going with what they say. The sunscreen that's going to go in these dispensers, I'm glad it's 30. But what kind of sunscreen is this? What kind of chemicals are we putting on our body?
Kelp-based sunscreen is what they proposed.
It is organic?
I'm not sure if it's organic or not, but I do recall that it's a kelp-based sunscreen.
Okay, so the kelp-based one, there was an issue with the Boston dispensers where they decided they didn't want too many harsh chemicals in those dispensers, so they had organic sunscreen put in them, and then they didn't come out of the dispensers, so they had to replace all the dispensers. Can we make sure that that's not an issue? And also the sunscreen, can we make sure that it's a waterproof sunscreen?
We've had this conversation with the proposer, and they have indicated that these dispensers are different. They're specially designed for this specific type of sunscreen, so we don't anticipate to have any clogging issues.
And these are manual, and the ones in Boston, they were
Oh, good.
They were electric.
activated electric.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, so that kind of brings me to my next comment/concern is that when the sunscreen is coming out of these dispensers, if these are located on the boardwalk, is it going to be, is there any kind of issue with that they could be, sunscreen could be greasy when you get some kinds on your clothing. Is that going to be an issue on our boardwalk? And on the wood, is it going to be slippery? So I'm a little concerned about the safety on that.
I have a number of us had the same concern, and it's my understanding that it's actually not on, it's at the bottom of the ramp, so it's on essentially where the showers are. So it's not where the people would be walking.
Okay, so
down the ramp on the beach.
So it's for people who have already paid to get onto the beach to use, so it's not for the general public. Okay. And then we already discussed who's going to oversee these. If there's a problem with them, who are we calling? Are we calling the city of Long Beach? Is there going to be a number on the side of the dispensers if we see that they're broken, or maybe some kids might be messing with them, smashing them, whatever kind of thing. So I'd like to know if who's really, what department's going to be responsible for this. And then my last question is logo advertisement. I've seen these in other places, and they don't have paid logo advertisements on them. So that really is the most concerning to me. I don't want a little mini billboard when I go onto the beach. It says at no cost to the city, but it looks like, if I'm reading this correctly, a logo advertisement, this company could be profiting off of selling advertisements. Now, we already have social bikes profiting off of advertisements that we receive nothing on. So I'm wondering, are we giving them, is this really free? We're losing potential couple bucks in revenue. I know it's probably not a lot, but I don't look at advertising when I walk onto the beach. And is there going to be any kind of room on these dispensers for PSAs about sun exposure? There could be, when you get lotion, you think, okay, now I'm protected from the sun, but really you're not. It's 30 is like, what, 97% coverage. We should be encouraging people to wear hats and sleeves, in addition to lotion for protection.
Ms. Glenn Chesnet's excellent. Okay, we'll pull you up.
Okay, that's, okay, but if you could just answer those last two concerns, that'd be
Sure thing. Wendy, come on up. Yes, they can't hear you, so we just need you to come to the mic. And just state your name and your association so that everyone knows who you are.
My name is Wendy Carr. I work with the city on projects and promotions and events. We got the sponsor is NYU Western Hospital. Is not just putting your name on the lotion on the machines. There's a full program that's going to address taking care of yourself. It's got a lot of. They're going to have an exhibition booth on site talking about protection. So it is a full program, not just putting your name on it.
Very good, very good.
And who's going to maintain them?
It's maintained by an outside company. They're going to be on the beach every single day, on the winter weekends, 3-4 times a day. They're going to check on them to make sure that
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you for being here with us tonight. That's wonderful. Excellent question, Ms. Blanchett. Excellent question. And again, do we have any other comments on this second piece of, yes, Mr. Dugar. Good to see you, Luke. Welcome.
Hi, Lou Dugar. Just a quick question. How big are the dispensers? If you have a beach that has several hundred people on it, obviously people go on there with sunscreen, but are they quart size, gallon size, 5
They seem to be
gallon
like
size?
the size of a
Oh, it's
small
big.
suitcase. Yeah.
Big, okay.
Fire extinguisher.
Okay, good. Okay, that's all I wanted. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Any other, yes,
Ms. Hessian, absolutely.
Eileen Hessian, 516 West Beach. I'm just wondering if, maybe you said this, where are they? Every beach?
Not every beach. I believe there's supposed to be 14 locations.
Spread out throughout the whole. Are there any in the West End, do you know?
Thank you.
okay.
Is that a no?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Ms. Hessian, and it's, as if we will have these in the West End. Right now, we don't have them in the West End, and they're in the center of town, 14 of these stations. Yes?
What's the location? So we want to New York Avenue.
Well, New York, of course, New York Avenue is part of the West End. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Question, Mr. Tenant?
Will it be in East End?
The East End.
So it'll be focused
It'll
in
be the
Central.
border. Yeah, probably, I don't know, as far as, so it'll be that far into the East End. Okay, we're very excited about that because we feel that that's part of, our function as a city. Are there any other comments, folks, on this item number 2 on the sunscreen and the dispensers that will be coming up and you'll be seeing this summer on our beaches? Okay, very good. And we'll just go on to our next item.
Item 3 is a resolution amending and policies and procedures of the city of Long Beach.
Okay, the city annually reviews this policy and amended it formally to incorporate the language for contractual requirements and procedures for New York State certified minority and women-owned business enterprises pursuant to resolution number 93 of 2016, and is also amending language regarding purchase orders, shipping blanket orders, and shipping charges.
Very good. Certainly long overdue too, and thank you for doing that. Are there any comments from the council on item number 3 on purchase order, procurement, and how we proceed with that whole process? No one? Any comments from the public? Yes, Blanchett? Welcome again.
I don't know what it means. What are goods and services not required by law to be publicly bid on? What does that mean?
Professional services, for example, don't require bidding according to the law, I guess with the rationale that it's a personal type of service. You want to take individual people that you know are good for the job to do it. So for example, outside legal counsel, you don't need to go to procurement for that legally.
What about the goods part?
I think there's goods below a certain threshold or in the case of emergencies and stuff like that.
Like, is it like a set amount of money? Like if you
Yeah,
get like staples?
this is all in our procurement policy.
And I don't know procurement, like how do I look at that? How do I see what that is?
Well, you could foil it and we'll send it over to you.
Are you kidding? So you guys, does everyone who's sitting
Anyone
on...
can have a copy of the procurement policy.
Right, well, no, I think you have to tell me to boil it, come on, Greg. So, does everyone, no, my question is, does every single person on the city council know what the procurement policy is and what that threshold total amount for goods is? Does everyone up here? Everyone's not, do you know what that is? Okay, but you can't tell me what that amount is?
Well, you know, we could, not specifically, but certainly we could make sure that it's online so that you can.
Could you actually do that? Because
Yeah,
you guys are voting
I
on
think
something
that
that we don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because
It's not
I've never
fair.
looked it up, but.
And that's like money, that's like our money.
Yeah.
Like you're voting on things and you all are nodding, you know what it is, and I just want to know what's that like threshold thing, and it's like an honest question. Don't you?
I'm sorry, I have sinusitis, so I can't speak loudly, but thank you, Allison, for your question. I just want to go back to the fact that this is referring to the MWBE policy
Right.
that was passed in 2016. Okay, as a result, this policy went into effect January 1st of 2017. There are certain requirements that need to be amended so that we can be in full, at this time, we can fully be under or in compliance with the policy. That's what this is.
Okay, I don't know what I just don't know what this policy is or what those amendments are, because this is not written very clear, unless you
Well,
actually.
it's very clear. This is the New York State Certified Minority and Women Business Owned. This is the whole big one, all right?
Okay.
So that's what that is. So in 2016, we voted as a council
And I
to make sure, right? So on January 1st, this policy went into effect. Now we have to make sure that we're compliant, and so as a result, corporate counsel along with their offices are making sure that all of our language is in compliance with the policy that was approved with respect to January 1st, 2017. That's what this is.
So you have to vote on that?
There's a vote on everything.
Okay.
Every year, the state requires the council to adopt the procurement policy, even if there's no change.
Okay. May I strongly suggest that you make this a little more available than like FOIL requesting? That's not really the answer I want to hear. Thank you.
Point well taken, Mr. Blanchett. Thank you so much. Any other comments from the public on item number 3, our procurement process and the amendments that we've made? Thank you, Ms. Moore, for that explanation. With that, we'll then move on to our next item.
Item 4 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for sludge management services with the city of Long Beach.
Okay, this is a standard contract the city has always had in place to remove the solids that remain after the treatment process at the wastewater treatment plant.
Well, I don't think I want to ask any more questions about that. But are there any comments from the council? Any comments from the public on this item number 4, the
Final is a resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase recreation, youth, and family services and lifeguard t-shirts, sweatshirts, sweatpants, jackets, and hats from the lowest responsible bidders.
Okay, this resolution gives the city the ability to purchase these goods in anticipation of the city's various summer programs from numerous vendors who have each provided the lowest individual price to the city.
Okay, now this is something we're putting out now.
This is an annual bid that the purchasing department does.
I see.
Youth program, lifeguard.
Got it, okay. Any other comments from the council? How about the public on the, of course, the purchasing of these items the city does annually? Okay, with that, folks, we're going to move on to our next item.
Item 6 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to pay administrative costs under the Emergency Tenant Protection Act, authorizing the passing on of administrative costs to the owners of the buildings included under such act, and directing the city controller to make billing therefore.
Okay, annually the ETTA directs that each city, town, or village that participates in the system of rent regulation share the cost of administering the system. Said costs are budgeted and paid to the Division of Housing and Community Renewal annually by resolution.
Okay, and then I realize that this is something that we have to vote on. Any comments from the council? No one? How about comments from the public? This item number 6 regarding rentals and high rises and so on, what we have here in Long Beach. This is an important part of what we do in government. Yes, Ms. Blanchett? Welcome again.
Is this an increase from previous years?
I don't believe that it is, but I will check with Sharon James.
Yes.
And are these, so these are, I'm just reading through this now.
Yes, yes.
I am going to have some more questions, and I'd like to follow up
Okay.
with you on that, but I mean, I wanted to know if this was an increase, first of all, and is this for any housing unit that accepts subsidized housing?
The city
Or is
participates
this,
in the rent control system, so we have to do this as part of annually reauthorizing it.
Okay, I mean, you usually, this is normal, you pass the cost off, so this is just annual renewal, same thing as
And not only
last
the
year.
city of Long Beach does, but every town and village and city in the entire state does.
Okay, thank you.
That has housing.
The housing authority.
In order to participate in the program.
Yes, that's good problem.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Blanchett. Any other comments on this item number 6 on the housing and the regulations here on the rentals? Okay, with that, folks, we're going to move on to item number 7.
Item 7 is a resolution authorizing annual allocation of community development funds for the 42nd program year.
The annual appropriation of the community development block grant for approved projects such as infrastructure repairs and improvements to various community centers within the city, ADA improvements in City Hall, residential rehabilitation and funding for public service programs such as youth and senior programs. City held a public hearing for the 42nd program year in March of 2016. Submitted its application on April 1st of 2016. The city received written authorization from Nassau County that the environmental review process has now been completed and that we can begin to expend funds for the 42nd program year.
Very good. I know that recently we submitted a letter to the federal government asking that these funds not be cut. Now, we're very concerned about some of these federal cuts because they impact so many folks, including children. And my concern is that exactly, that the community development monies really impact after-school programs, things that kids work on. I mean, it's just, I find it mind-boggling that anyone's thinking of cutting these funds. But the monies we've received, Mr. Chairman, are monies that we're counting at this point.
Yes, the hearing that we did just a month or two ago was for the 43rd year. That's the upcoming year. So this money that we're authorizing today is for the 42nd year. So it's
Very good. Is there a comment there? Okay, any comments from the council? How about comments from the public? This is on community development monies that we desperately can use and need. And again, you know, we're very grateful to have this money. Okay, I see no comments. We're going to move on to our 8.
Item 8 is a resolution authorizing budget amendments to the general fund budget for the 2016-2017 fiscal year and the capital fund budget.
Okay, this item amends the general fund budget for additional senior programming revenue and a new federal grant for police safety vests and transfers between capital accounts to cover building upgrades to the City Hall HVAC system.
That's great. The police safety vests, that's, I think, critical stuff. I'm all for that. Are there any comments from the council on that? On item number 8, folks? Any comments from the public? Yes, ma'am, please come forward. It's good to see you. We always welcome people's comments, and this is such an important part of what we do.
Nancy Golden, East Pine Street.
Mr. Golden, hold the mic a little closer to you so that they can hear you.
You're talking about safety vests and transfer money for police,
Yeah.
and then as well as City Hall HVAC. But on the page you have Maple Firehouse listed on here also.
Yes.
Is that part of the group? And not separated?
Yes, so we have $2,381 coming in for senior revenue. We have $19,100 coming into the federal grant that's being used for police safety vests. We have $1,293 moving from a City Hall capital project to the Maple Firehouse rehabilitation project. And we have $75,000 from the City Hall roof going to the City Hall HVAC system.
And which one was the police vest figure?
$19,100 in federal
The
grant.
federal aid up on the top. Okay. The way it was written.
Okay, well, thank you. Good to see you. Thank you again for coming up. Any other comments on this very important piece of legislation? Ms. Blanchett, sure.
Having trouble reading this one. The way you put it out was really kind of long. I see on, what page? I don't understand, I'm so confused. What are the police safety vests? What are those? Like bulletproof, or what are they?
Oh, yeah. The commissioner's here. He'll give you a description of the, that's very important piece of equipment.
Not a lot of shooting going on.
There are a large number of different bulletproof vests. There is the level 2, which most of the police officers wear on duty now, and then there's a level 3, which will stop a long weapon, an AK-47, AR-47, and such. So what I've done is, in light of the actions around the world, we now have a helmet and this supersized vest deployed in every car. So being shipped, the officer puts it over his our existing vest, fits it, and then it's ready to respond. God forbid we ever had an active shooter. So we've also deployed long guns in the car to be able to respond to any eventuality. So this is just a safety issue, and the federal government funded the entire thing. We also just so you know, we have a bulletproof partnership program also, where every 5 years we have a grant where half of the cost of a new vest is absorbed by the federal government and the other half by the officer.
Thank you. Yes, please, go ahead.
How much, what does it cost on the safety vests?
I'm not sure of the individual cost.
$19,100.
That's the $19,000 to keep our officers safe, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, as far as the individual, I don't know. I think we can get that information from them.
Not that I care about keeping residents safe.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Blanchett. Yeah, it's sad that, of course, we've reached a time in history where we have to have this kind of safety for
More
police.
people die from traffic violence than officers.
Well, thank you, Ms. Blanchett. Okay, Any other comments from the public? Okay, we'll move on to our next item.
Okay, item 9 includes the public hearing for an ordinance to amend the code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach for water and water distribution.
Okay. Okay, this item is to codify and carry forward the fees that were approved in the budget last month.
Okay, any comments on this from the council? How about comments from the public on the water and water distribution? Okay, and with that, we're going to move on.
Okay, item 10 is a resolution authorizing publication of a notice of public hearing of an application to waive off-street parking requirements for premise 164 East Park Avenue for a dog daycare business. The sign is for publication only. The hearing will be held June 20th at 7 p.m. Item 11 is a resolution authorizing publication of a notice of public hearing of an application to waive off-street parking requirements for premises 870 West Beach Street for a microbread bakery cafe. The sign is for publication only. The hearing will be held June 20th at 7 p.m. Item 1 is an ordinance to amend the code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach regarding Ocean Beach Park.
I'll introduce that.
I will. Yes.
Just want to say, as the city starts to grow and improve, I think this is a wonderful step forward. We have to make sure we ensure everyone's safety, residents, everyone's, I think this is great. I will yes.
Yes, I just want to echo Councilman Randall's sentiments. Again, saving and protecting our residents is a critical priority, and I hope yes.
Yes.
Item 2 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement for sponsorship program for sunscreen dispensers in the Ocean Beach Park and to amend the budget.
I'll introduce. Yes.
Yes.
I vote yes, but I'd also just like to add that I hope that we will be able to expand it to the west end, the east end, and then the suggestion also on parks and playgrounds throughout the city. So I hope this is a real successful program.
Absolutely. My vote is yes.
Item 3 is a resolution amending and reaffirming the procurement policy and procedures of the city of Long Beach.
Yes.
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 Item 4 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for sludge management services for the city of Long Beach.
I will.
I will. Yes.
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 Item 5 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase recreation, youth, and family services and lifeguard t-shirts, sweatshirts, sweatpants, jackets, and hats from the lowest responsible bidders.
I will.
I'll second that.
Yes.
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 Item 6 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to pay administrative costs under the Emergency Tenant Protection Act, authorizing the passing on of administrative costs to the owners of the buildings included under such act, and directing the city controller to make billing therefore.
I will.
I will. Yes.
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 Item 7 is a resolution authorizing annual allocation of the community development funds for the 42nd program year.
I will.
I vote yes, but I just want to encourage our residents to continue to reach out to the federal government, to encourage the president to put this type of grant money back into the federal budget so that we can benefit from it going forward. These programs that I know Councilman Torres mentioned, the child care program, but we also, it impacts our senior programs as well as some of our community development programs. So I think it's How about I vote yes?
I think it can't be said better than Councilman Dunn just said, I vote yes.
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 Absolutely. Thank you. Yes.
Item 8 is resolution authorizing budget amendments to the general fund budget for the 2016-17 fiscal year and the capital fund budget.
Adam?
I'll second that.
Yes.
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 Item 9, ordinance to amend the code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach regarding water and water distribution.
Yes.
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 Item 10 is a resolution authorizing publication of a notice of public hearing of an application to waive off-street parking requirements for premise 164 East Park Avenue, Street 4, for a dog daycare business.
I'll second that.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I like the idea of a dog daycare center. I vote yes.
Finally, item 11 is a resolution authorizing publication of a notice of public hearing of an application to waive off-street parking requirements for premise 870 West Beach Street, Street 4, for a microbread bakery and cafe.
Adam? I'm looking forward to tasting your bread. Pretty impressive, I vote yes. Yes.
Well, you know, with all of these wonderful places for people to eat in Long Beach, this is a true welcome. It's bread place. I just look forward to it. Thank you, and I vote yes.
City manager's monthly personnel report has been filed by the city clerk. Who will make a motion to close the meeting?
I'll make a motion.
I will. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Folks, and now we enter the good and welfare section of our meeting. And again, you know, at this point right now, we can't accept any other people applying for comments or questions that you might have for us. Again, the limit is 3 minutes. There's a little timer. We do that only because we would like to hear from everyone. And hearing from everyone is part of what makes government work. And with that, we begin with, sure. Okay, we begin with Ms. Blanchett. Allison? Oh, you okay? Okay, very good. Well, it's good to see you, Allison. It's glad you're here. Okay. Our next person is Alex. Maybe you can help me with the pronunciation. I'm sorry.
It's quite all right. I'm used to it.
It's like my name, my whole life.
My name is Alex Mobley.
Welcome.
My colleague Scott Hannell.
Okay.
We live in Karen Street, north of the Pine Street Bridge. And where's Ira? I didn't see him. Dr. Revolution. So we're in the northernmost section of it, which has been subjected to severe flooding. This is a well-known fact. It's known for several years. It's a shame Councilman Aramo left. I wanted to thank him for forwarding the letter I wrote from all of you to the Commissioner for Public Works, who said, you know, that they're going to come and begin to look at some interim steps. And it was very contingent and hesitant, and I understand the reasons why, in terms of a longer-term fix for the bulkhead on Heron Street. So the questions I have are all in the 3 headings. We're in the middle of a hurricane season now, with the highest forecast for rainstorms in the past 5 to 10 years. What are we doing now? Not tomorrow, and I understand it. I understand the complexity of the issue, both from the engineering side, and I think there might be some legalities involved, as well as regulatory permits and approvals. Got all that, that's long term. What are we doing now? Where do we stand long term? And I also also wanted to thank Councilman Moore for giving me a call. I'd like to know why none of you have ever come down to see it in the flood. City Manager Sherman has come down on multiple occasions, and I think he's fairly well versed on the severity of the issue. You've got a bulkhead that is rotting out, that needs to be replaced. We just talked for about 5 to 15 minutes about public safety and about suntans for beach residents, for people who are coming to the beach. Well, what about the folks that live on Heron Street? What about the folks that live here? And what are you guys doing about that? So I would like you to, near term and then longer term. And if not today, please take it as an ongoing item, because it's my contention that we're facing a significant risk on there. And it's not just us, it's everybody on our street, and it's other people in the Canal District. John, Eric?
I'd just like to jump in. Obviously, it was very rainy the last couple of weeks. We flooded 16 tide cycles in a row. Each tide cycle, we are stuck in or out of our house for 5 hours at a time. I have 4 children in my house. And if it is a school morning high tide, they are late for school. If it is an activity in the afternoon, they are late for their activity. We try to get home from our activity at night in the evening to 8 o'clock tide. We can't get back to the house. We have to go through Ira's backyard, through Allison's backyard. It's disgusting. I spoke to Todd Kaminsky about it. I showed him the videos, the same pictures that have been shown Jack for 4 years now. He called it third world country. It needs to be fixed and mitigated now before our children and our houses are gone.
Thank you. Okay. Unfortunately, normally we don't have 3 people come up on one time slot. But we appreciate exactly what all of you have to say. I think that let's see what you have to say, and that'll be.
That's it.
Oh, I see.
No.
Wait a minute, you're Dr. Ira. Yes, absolutely. I believe you're the next person to speak. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. Okay, a lot of you know me, and I've lived on that street for 29 years. I've lived in the canal for 34 years. So I guess I've seen it all. I mean, it flooded 29 years ago. Of course, it floods worse now because now the metal bulkheads are rusted out. And there's a lot of leaks. And as well as that, about 10 years ago, they did the bulkheads at the end of our street. Just the 2 houses in front of mine in front of Scott's, so the people were there in the car. They put a storm sewer in. So now it floods from the storm sewer also. Those valves that never work. And they also put curbing in, so we get a huge swimming pool going there. So it's not even the water ever coming over the bulkheads, because that happens once a year, maybe, at that, with a bad storm. So I met with Jim LaCaruba last year. He came over there, and we talked about some simple repairs that could be made. In the meantime, I understand the bulkheads will be done in the next couple of years. But, you know, if you gave me a couple of guys from the city, I mean, there's even enough scrap wood on the block from the people doing their houses. For a couple $1,000, we could probably fix the leaks that we're having now. But long term, I don't know if you guys know this, because I don't think any of you were on the council then, but when they did Barnes Street about 10 years ago, they raised the whole height of the street. Why? Because it flooded, and no matter what you do, the water is going to seek its own level as it comes out of the bay. So when you do the bulkheads without raising the streets up, at the end of the block, we're only talking 4 or 5 inches should solve the problem. It's just a waste of money in the long term, because you're still going to get the flooding, we'll still be stuck in our houses. I mean, you know, I work in the city, I walk to work, lucky me, and there have been mornings I can't get to the office without, you know, climbing over some ridiculous things to get there and work for due to the flooding. So that's pretty much all I have to say. If the job would be cheap, you can repair it. You know, if it was my bulkhead, I would have done it already, but it's not. It's the city's property, so I can talk to your guy, and I think it's in a week you get out of it. That's it.
It's good to have you here. And again, I want to thank all 3 of you for coming. And I want to make a promise to you guys that I'm going to go down there and I'm going to take a look at this myself. And again, you know, I'm sorry I haven't been able to, I've had to travel to Puerto Rico with my sick father, and I would have been late.
You can contact one of the three of us.
Sure will.
That we can be there with you.
Very good, very good. You can show me exactly what you're talking about, and we'll share that with
I'm a
our...
little bit disturbed, if I
No, it's
can
okay,
say
it's okay.
2 seconds. Because we have forwarded, and in fact on Jack's phone, which is
Yeah.
actually taking pictures from his phone.
Yeah.
During the Bay cleanup, Anissa Moore was there at the time, 2 years ago. It was taken by a surfer on a surfboard inside the canal.
Wow.
And we showed him, on your phone, 10-foot wide openings in the inside of the land falling through. This was 2 years ago. How was that not furnished to anybody else up on here? Why were those pictures not sent around? Why are these videos not sent around? Wow. We've lost 4 cars. We've lost 4 cars in the last 2 years.
Really?
I just want to echo the seriousness of this situation because I had the opportunity to see firsthand. I saw the holes in the actual bulkhead. I saw the areas where water was just gushing through on the street. Again, I've only been here for a year and a half, but since the 2-year period, I saw and witnessed the holes myself. This is a critical issue, and we have to take action. Again, I've witnessed the children on the street. I've witnessed neighbors telling the children not to stand close by because of the issue. So we have to do something. We have to take action, and I hope that we can take action sooner rather than later. This is a critical issue. It's continued for a long period of time, and the question was, what do we do in terms of immediate action and then a long-term action? So we still need to answer that question.
Ms. Moore, we appreciate you. You've been quite communicative with us, and we totally have your back, respect you, appreciate you, and thank you very much.
Thank you. This is
Gentlemen,
just
thank
not
you.
a canal area. This is also, when you look at East Pine, individuals who come to this meeting as well, talking about flooding and losing their cars, and so we definitely want to continue to move forward.
Thank you again, gentlemen. Give us this follow-up.
So I just want to mention, obviously, a couple things. As we know, Huron is unfortunately the lowest elevation in the city. In fact, it was the stream, as the residents probably know, that I used to measure Sandy before it was fully underwater 24 hours before Sandy. It was extraordinary. It was horrible. And in the years since, we've always used Huron as a measuring stick as well. And those, I certainly was there and saw those pictures, and that's why the city fought so hard for the funding that we have coming to do the big projects that we've allocated. And in addition, the reason why the city allocated money to do the interior of the canals, as I'm sure you know, unfortunately, my understanding is that Dr. Rushak is that it's not an easy fix. If it was for $1,000, I think we already have it done, right? But I do know that the Commission of Public Works is, in addition to at the long-term projects, looking at anything that can be done to make life easier for the children.
Thank you again. Thank you, Mr. Sherman. Okay, we're going to move on to our next person here, Mr. Bill Dodge. Mr. Bill Dodge? Yep. Okay. Welcome, Mr. Dodge. Good to see you.
Good evening, Bill Dodge, Long Beach COA. It was so nice of you earlier to mention FOIL requests and how important they were to get information. So I'll describe one of our scenarios with trying to get FOIL requests. I'm going to read a little FOIL request to you and then we'll go from there. We requested in February all bills, requests for premium payment, premiums made, premium notices, or notices of increased premiums, received from or transmitted to ACE Property and Casualty, Chubb Insurance, or any subsidiary, or any similar companies subsequent or prior to ACE Property for the period July 1, 2008 through February 27, 2017. Does anybody not understand that request? Is there anybody, it was written at like an 8th grade level. Is there anybody here on the council that doesn't understand that request? Well, we originally requested that information in July of 2016. Then we requested it again in September of 2016. Then we requested it again in February of 2017. Well, May 17th of 2017, we finally got a response. It says, we don't have any of those records. They don't exist. But, well, if that's the case, then you just did a budget without any information on how much to budget for property and casualty, for liability insurance. And the second part of that, the answer came back, said, hey, your request is denied for failure to reasonably describe the records that you saw. Well, you all look like intelligent folks. It looks like you understood what that request was. It's now almost 10 months later, and those records aren't there. So Ms. Blanchett earlier said, hey, I would like some records. And you said, well, FOIL them. All right, well, we FOILed records, and almost 10 months later, they're still not there. Is there any solution to getting those records any faster? I mean, I think this was a pretty reasonable request. It was done 3 times. As a matter of fact, in the September request, we boiled it down to, hey, in summary, what did this lawsuit cost the city of Long Beach exclusive of the payments the city's already disclosed? We made it pretty simple. That would even be maybe 6th grade language, not even going up to 8th grade or middle school grammar. But we still don't have it. So that is the question. How do we obtain these records under FOIL? The way that you suggested in this Blanchett. That's all I have.
Did you appeal it, Mr. Dodge? You know, you could appeal.
I've requested it 3 times. Excellent question. I'll give you the scenario of how the city of Long Beach works. I FOIL records from the town of Brookhaven, a place we're familiar with. I get a response within about 15 seconds acknowledging that the record has been received, that the request has been received. On the 2nd or 3rd business day after that, the records come. We FOIL the school district in the city of Long Beach. We get a response that they've received it on the 1st business day after the records were requested. Within a week, we get the records back. We could appeal, and we could continue to appeal, but there shouldn't be a reason to appeal something as basic as this. It was requested 3 separate times.
Hey, Mr. Dodge, we're going to look into that.
Thank you very much.
And I appreciate your coming and bringing these questions up to us.
Thank you very much.
Please, let's look into this. I'm very concerned. I'd like to be apprised of the process regarding making sure that residents have access to information in a timely manner.
Absolutely, Ms. Moore. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dodge.
Thank you.
Okay, and our next person is Ms. Liz Tristan. Welcome, Ms. Tristan.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, good to see you. And your companion there?
What confounded me, David, bring this picture and break the night before the bid meeting.
Oh.
Well, out of habit, I'm just going to turn. When all doesn't include people like me, my name is Liz Preston, 37 Wyoming Avenue. I am showing photos, and there are a couple going around, and I will post them later on social media. I purchased my beach passes before Memorial Day at the gazebo. As I already attended a previous city council meeting on May 2nd regarding the maps for those with functional needs and access to the beach borderline, I was told by our new Department of Public Works he had no new information on the maps. It was in the hands of the beach superintendent, who I believe is Mr. Tanner. Has he updated Mr. Miranda? Oh well. If so, why haven't all of us been updated? There's nothing on our out-of-compliance webpage or the city's Facebook pages, some no longer up to date, to alert those of us that use these maps that they are MIA. The city employees do not know the booth. Do they know how to tell a visitor how to get to the beach when their child has a broken leg and can't use crutches in the sand? Lieutenant Magona, our retired Long Beach Police Department lieutenant, now our beach supervisor, promised me last year in the lobby with our ADA coordinator, who happens to be present this evening. We were downstairs, and he promised me that the booth employees would be trained in providing this information. Well, they don't know. In fact, Those that I met do not know who Philip is. Last week I even met him in the parking lot and casually inquired about the map. He didn't know. Who knows? All I know is for the last 2 months, I've bit my lip every time a member of council or administration uses the word all. I am not in your all. I have never been. It will be almost 27 years that the ADA has been signed into a law. What are you waiting for? I vote too. How easy is it to make a sign and place it in every booth with beach mat locations and the phone number to have a beach chair delivered to a booth location? Although it appears every attendant has a cell phone, they may or may not. A visitor may not. What is the contingency plan? This happens every single year. I just do not understand the lack of communication between the departments. We have an ADA coordinator. It's a title given currently to a very good attorney. The coordinator is not to give case law when asked a question. He or she coordinates between groups and departments. It's a demanding responsibility. I've done everything I can to keep the Department of Justice from knocking on our door. You should all take a moment and thank whatever it is you believe in, that you are not part of my all. It can suck, and you remind me every single day that my all doesn't belong anywhere in Long Beach.
Thank you, Ms. Chair.
Staff so that they know the information, because we do have the programs in place.
I think it might be a good suggestion as well to ensure that the memo is posted.
Right, because we do have these programs in place for access and.
But it's not working.
All right, Ms. Preston, we'll make sure to communicate it again to the beach staff.
Where are the mats? It's over 2 weeks already. Where are they?
Well, we'll follow up with the beach maintenance. They should be putting out those mats, following up on our pilot program last year. And to my knowledge, they should be in the same locations that they were last year. If they're not, we'll look
But
into it.
that's not what it says. It says Tennessee Beach, and if you look at the picture, there's no way I can access Tennessee Beach. There's a curve.
Well, we're going to look into that.
Don't look into it. It's 2 weeks into the summer. It's the second weekend. Where are they? You're the ADA coordinator. You're supposed to know this stuff.
Ms. Tresson, I mean, are you aware where the beach mats are?
No.
Do you know the number to call for the beach chair?
I absolutely do.
Okay. Have you had any issues accessing the beach staff?
I can't use the beach chair. I use the mat.
Okay, well,
But there aren't,
we're
they're
going
not
to make
at
sure
any
that you know
point.
where the
They're
mats
not
are.
at all. I can guarantee you 100%. I have more pictures of the entire place that they're supposed to be, and they are not there.
Okay,
I
well,
don't know
we'll have
where
to
they
talk
are.
with beach maintenance and rectify the situation. All right, Ms. Preston, we'll let you know.
I think we need to make sure that it's done,
We will.
that's done tomorrow.
Thank you, Liz, for sharing your story, and I just want to say that, again, I think all of us, it's embarrassing and it's hurtful, because ADA is something that schools carry out, governments carry out, wherever you go, and so to find out that for whatever reason we failed to act, the onus is on us for that, and we have to apologize because you do matter. You are a community servant, and so you had the courage to come and speak on this particular issue. But what about all the other people who are part of the community who are unable to come out tonight to speak about this very issue? And so I know that as a council, we will follow up on this and make sure that you will have access along with so many other members of the community.
Thank you, Ms. Moore.
you've echoed our feelings exactly, and we will follow up. And this is something we will do. Okay, with that, folks, and again, Tristan, thank you for coming and speaking and bringing this up to our attention. We have Amy Duba. How about Lou? Lou, are you okay? Good to see you, Lou.
Good evening again. On a very positive note, I was on the bike last week and I saw the new signs that say bikers, bike lane, it says beware of walkers, which I think is a great idea having on both sides. Just one suggestion, they should be closer to the ramps, not that far away, so when people actually walk on the boardwalk, they can see them right away. And they should be faced in such a way when people are walking on the boardwalk, if they see that it's a bike lane, and obviously the bikers will see that there's, watch out for walkers. It's great, they're big, they're easily seen. It may not be the perfect solution, but I think it's a very good solution, and thank you.
It's a good suggestion, Mr. Duba. Thank you so much. And again, we're very happy that, and again, what you're saying about the ramps that you're coming up to see the sign. Yes, yeah, absolutely. My goodness, it's Pastor Miller. Pastor Miller, welcome. I didn't realize you were here with us. Welcome to our city council meeting. Yes.
My name is Dolores Miller. I live at 210 Shore Road here in Long Beach, and I pastor the church here in Long Beach. I'm here tonight because I want to thank Councilwoman Vanessa Moore for what she's doing here in the community. So I guess I'm going to read first to her, and then I want to address our city manager. It states here, we would like to thank Councilwoman Vanessa Moore for all of her attempts at transparency and for, let me put my glasses on, and for sending written and verbal communication to apprise the house of worship in the community of Long Beach. Thank you for making this, well, thank you for helping us, I put it on that wise, and keeping all the residents all over Long Beach really informed about the different things going on here in Long Beach. And I guess I'm also talking about this event that's coming up soon, how that you are paved the way for us to get kind of like a barrier where the church is concerned, so that we could have a place for parking, because we realize that parking is not good here in Long Beach. And to have all these people coming into Long Beach, and then to have heard that the march would have been down in North Park area where the churches are concerned, and at the time that we would be having church, you worked on that for us and had it changed and put in a different location. And I really want to thank you for that, of how that you're working here, not only with that, but with other things here in the community. And maybe I don't say anything sometimes, but I want you to know that I appreciate it so much. And I'm saying this to you because I've had others come when they want to be voted for. They'll come to the house of God and they'll ask for votes or ask for help. But a situation like this, I think that it should have been really brought to the North Park area in a structured manner so that we would know what to expect. But it would also have been that what she did could have been done, especially through the person that I was told started it. So it's some things I don't know, so I'm just going to read this part of the letter. This goes to Jack, and I don't say this
in disrespect, because I respect you. And I love everybody. There's not a person that I don't love. I don't love some people's ways, but I love everybody. I want that to be made clear. So this is to you, and I hope you take it in the spirit that it's given, because it's given in the spirit of love. And what I would want you to gain from my reading of this letter is that next time I'll be more considerate where the North Park area is concerned. Okay? And if you set up a big event, then you would provide what she went out of here for us. But you would have someone to do it. Okay, let me just read this, and then I'll sit down. Okay. Dear City Manager, on behalf of the faith community, I would like to express our disappointment in your lack of consideration with respect to a 3-day Pride Festival, allowing an outside entity control of the city without any regards for the citizens of the faith community. Let me assure you that we're not speaking from fear of homophobia, but from concern about the residents and their well-being, and of course our children. Because we had a parade down there and everything, and you know how kids are. So we wouldn't want that in the community. So you, as well as the faith community, are charged with the responsibility of every citizen, regardless of faith, sexuality, ethnicity, gender, social, economics, background, etc. And on this occasion, you have failed us all. Not only is the faith community concerned about the resident, but we're concerned about the tourists. How could you have an event so large and widespread throughout the community without actually acknowledging the community that will be unpacked and their concerns? The Sabbath is an integral part of our history and practice of faith. We recommend that Sunday parades be limited to hours outside of the typical 10 to 2 p.m. time of worship, which is when we have our service exact. Sunday school starts at 10, our services ends at 2, okay? And that you consult the community about anything so grand that it would disrupt our lifestyle, our worship, especially the Sabbath. Anything that infringes upon the quality of life of the underserved community or the community at large must be addressed accordingly. Why not have a conversation with the faith community and the community at large? Are we going to be able to have a 3-day Christian festival that disrupts the city of Long Beach without consulting you and this body? I think not. And that is akin to how you treat every resident in Long Beach. In the future, when planning events or developments or any endeavor, we the people would appreciate acknowledgement, consideration, and notification. I know that when people question your action or leadership concerning this event, you attempt to paint the community's reaction as fear and homophobia. You drop the ball on this one, and you have to own it. When you leave the public ill-informed or completely blind, they are forced to assume, and we all know the end result of that thought process. So all we ask is to really be acknowledged here in Long Beach. Whether you like it or not, you're our city manager. You really are. And just like they say that Donald Trump is our president, he is. No matter what he do or say, he is. So I'm just asking you, our city manager, to acknowledge us. You know, you treat a person as you want to be treated. So, all right, would you do that for me?
Thank you, Mr.
I acknowledge everybody in our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you for being here tonight. We're going to move on to our next person, and it's Mindy
Duffberg, pronouncing that correctly because you wrote it out so that I can pronounce it. Thank you again for being here. Ms. Duffberg, good to see you. How are you?
Good, thank you.
How are you guys this evening? Hello, everybody behind me. I wanted to talk about the beach accessibility maps. I understand that you guys want to put them on specific beaches, but I have a really hard time understanding that not every beach should have them. And you said earlier about it's a pilot program last year, and the pilot program was really great. But on specific beaches, there are so many different people with so many different disabilities, and Ms. Trustin mentioned it, with people that are on crutches and walkers and just so many different things trying to get on the beach. And really, we should have moving bats on every single beach. It just should be.
You know, I actually tend to agree with you. And what I think the city does is we really go above and beyond what the ADA does. We accommodate people in many ways in a natural area that is inaccessible. It's just naturally inaccessible. So in that sense, the city does go above and beyond. But I think, I speak for everybody. I'd say we should have more than what we do there.
We don't have any.
Well, one of the things that was talked about last year was that it was the problem of keeping them clean and having to move them, and
They do require a tremendous amount.
I understand, but there's got to be anchors or something. There's got to be a better way. I don't know if there is. There's got to be something that needs to be done, and the accessibility of every beach should happen from east to west. The West End needs to have it just as much. West End's neglected a lot. I live here at Central, but the West End's neglected. They need to have it too. Everybody comes here. This is a destination. It's a beach spot. Everybody comes here. You need to make sure that the ADA community is enjoying the beach too. Because it's a healing place. That beach is a healing place. You know it. I know it. I've healed here.
Absolutely.
Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Duffberg, and thank you everyone for coming out tonight. We appreciate it. Certainly it's been an eye-opening meeting. And again, we want to thank you for coming out and staying with us this late. Please get home safely. Thank you.
You did very well. They still don't learn the freaking math. They still don't know where they are. That's JT. That's great. Yes, ma'am.